Welcome back as the scene is set for a great second moto here with the 125 action. A record crowd on hand at Delmont, Pennsylvania for the matchup between Langston and Brown. Davey?
Well, guys, down the starting gate, as we saw at the end of the first moto, tempers a little high between number 100 Mike Brown, number 111 Grant Langston. Remember, Langston only needs a third if Brown wins. By the way, Brown actually fell on the parade lap as if there's not enough emotions on the line. He falls over, gets himself muddied. This last one ought to be a doozy.
Mike Brown has had to come from behind all season long. Grant Langston 6 points ahead, needs to finish third or better to win that championship. Mike Brown's going to need some help if he's going to pull off the third greatest comeback in 125 history after being down 59 points at the midway point of the season.
You know what happened with Brown during that parade lap? He went out there and was running the track at speed and ended up going down. So definitely got his heart rate up where it needs to be to start this race.
Fonseca and Ramsey between the two contenders. Brown you see there and Langston right under us. Don't forget, Ricky Carmichael could play a part in who wins the championship here today. He's also on that 125. Board sideways. We're off and running for a championship.
See, Langston tried to cut over to the left. I think he was a little bit off balance.
It's Boniface. Steve Boniface, 5:31. The Frenchman is out in front.
A lot better start for Carmichael this time.
A great start for Carmichael, but Brown and Langston, where are they? Looks like Brown's about in 5th or 6th position as Boniface tries to pull away.
Now Carmichael's in a position to take the overall win and get the record, also in a position to affect the outcome should he choose of this national championship.
Way in third, there's Brown. And there's Langston finally. Langston's got a couple of riders to get through to get back up to Brown. Oh, this could be an interesting championship finale. Now Carmichael starting to put pressure on Boniface right away.
Boniface is going to feel more heat than he's ever felt in his life. If Carmichael was faster than Langston and Brown out front, you can imagine how much faster he's capable of going than Boniface here.
Boniface, his best finish of the year, a couple of 9th place finishes. Brown goes down. Whoa, that changes the complexion.
That could be it right there. Already 6 points down. And Langston is up front. Brown's probably about mid-pack, I'd guess, right there. By the time he got going, he lost a lot of ground.
All right, can you imagine being in front of Brown right now? Oh, look out.
Well, you know, you can look at this like, okay, he's got nothing to lose now. T. Payton, those guys are concerned. I don't think they could see that from the mechanics area, but this goes back to when Barnett almost beat me in the championship in the Supercross. He had nothing to lose with a bad start. He actually went down in the first corner, came from last to second. Only won the championship by a couple points. So Brown could come from way back, ride like a madman, and maybe even do a little rubbing on Langston. He seemed to have enough motivation after that first moto.
Boniface now very concerned about Ricky Carmichael. Gives him lots of room. Carmichael kind of, whoa. Now, Ricky, was that necessary?
Look at that. He almost jumps that whole plateau.
A block pass by Carmichael, then a great leap, and Ricky Carmichael is on his way to possibly winning the overall and becoming the all-time winningest 125 rider. Currently tied with 25 wins with Mark Barnett on the all-time career list for 125 motocross. The first lap completed. Carmichael, Boniface, and now you see the gap between second and third.
Here's Ricky set this up by staying about 3 feet lower over that plateau. But the block pass on Boniface pretty much got the pass made. All you really need to do is take the main line, but instead he takes him clear out to the tractor. But that's what Ricky does. He rides aggressive. Maybe he didn't like the way Boniface was holding him off. And right there he sent him a message, and now he's got the lead, and I don't see any way that anybody's going to catch him.
The battle for third, Pingree, Ramsey, and then Grant Langston.
This is a gift for Langston. All he's got to do is just stay on the bike. Even the further back in the pack they are, the better, because the point increments from first to second or 3, then it's 2 for a few spots, and then it's only 1. So he's got a 6-point lead. He should feel pretty safe right now.
3 or 4 riders and still no Brown. Davey?
Steve, what happened to Mike over there?
I missed it, Davey, but I heard on the radio that Nick Wade got a little bit sideways out of the corner, and he took Mike's front wheel from underneath him, and we just went down. But, you know, hopefully we can get back in there. I mean, Grant's fair way back as well, and we just need to try and get it in front as quick as possible.
I noticed you got a little help that lap from an old GP competitor, Scott Sheik. He pulled over and gave Mike a wide berth.
I didn't really notice that, Davey.
This really complicates the formula for a championship.
You got a lot of things going on. You know, Ricky's out front. He's not going to affect anything except possibly beating Mark Barnett's all-time record. But yeah, the rest of these guys are scattered. Langston, he just has to ride pretty smart. He's got teammates out there to surround him. Brown is coming up from the back. You got some guys letting guys by. It's a weird moto right now, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but if you're Langston, you got to feel pretty comfortable.
Here comes Langston. He wants to make a move anyway. He's got Pingree, a teammate, in front of Ramsey.
Look at Langston really using the whole track, try to create a line to get around. I don't think he'll have too much trouble getting around Pingree. Then again, Pingree might not realize that's him back there, trying to hold off Ramsey, and all of a sudden it'll be Langston if he can make his move.
The rumor is Pingree is signed for Supercross with KTM, but so far no motocross. And there you have Ramsey getting by Pingree, and he's got Grant Langston right behind him.
Well, Pingree just didn't get around that corner quick enough before the big plateau, lost 2 spots.
So an interesting battle ensues for the 125s here at Moto 2. We'll be back. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Combs from Steel City Raceway in Delmont, Pennsylvania. The second and deciding moto, not only for who wins Delmont, but who wins the National AMA Motocross 125 Championship.
Look at the way Langston is attacking Ramsey here, and you wonder, like, geez, why does he got to try so hard to take these chances right now with Brown back in the pack? Well, you take more of a chance by staying here and riding carefully with Brown coming through the pack like a madman. The more positions he can pick off, the harder he's going to make the job for Brown.
Shows a wheel on the inside to Nathan Ramsey in third. Whoa!
Yeah, Langston's pushing hard. I mean, he lost the front end right there, and that could have been a crash, but you can't worry about every little thing. He's trying to ride aggressive to get around into third. Looks like he's got it. He's got to go all the way to the outside, but he's looking for points and to try to make the job tougher for Brown to get up and have any kind of a chance at this championship.
The key to his success this year, 4 straight moto wins at the beginning of the season, and then after getting that shoulder problem and missing a race, he was able to come back and retake the points lead with 4 straight moto wins in the last 2 races.
Look at this pass again. He gets by Ramsey, and he's coming on the inside. He's coming in so hot. There's no way he can get to that inside berm. He hits that break and bump, goes wide, takes Ramsey wide. And I think Ramsey understands what happened right there. He's not looking at that as dirty riding. And now Langston's got the spot. That's one more rider that Brown's going to have to pass.
Here comes Brown. Just as you mentioned him, he's taking on Brock Sellards on the KTM. Brown, bang. I know you work for KTM, Brock. I got to give you a little extra push there.
Yeah, he's not messing around with the KTM riders, but anybody for that matter. See how high he has his leg. We saw Larocco get his stuck in the ground. You're not going to see that happen to Brown. Those were deep ruts. He came in there with a lot more speed than usual and lifted his leg really high. Now watch what he does to Brock Sellards right here. He's going to do this to everybody because he's got a championship on the line. But as soon as he landed, he didn't waste time. He got in there with a little extra acceleration, looked over at Brock like, sorry, but I got to do what I got to do.
Well, it's been a great season, though, for Mike Brown, even if he doesn't win the championship and come back on Grant Langston. The season looked like it was over for the Pro Circuit rider earlier in the year. After in that second race, he hurt his shoulder at the Hangtown Classic, didn't score a point. But he has just put his head down and just barreled back into the championship race. He's got Fonseca, number 25, in front of him.
These guys have had some run-ins.
Boy, haven't they? A couple of races in a row. Brown showed no mercy.
Yeah, you know, it seemed like Brown was just running right through Fonseca and being the bully. And when Fonseca tried to get him back at Troy, Brown made friends with him. So it was like, you know, he hit Fonseca 3 times. Fonseca hit him once, and Brown was like patching that all up, going, all right, now we're even. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Fonseca just goes wide, and Brownie has the root.
Well, I couldn't have guessed that. It looked like Fonseca waved him by, as a matter of fact. So maybe it's the end of the season, and he just doesn't want to start anything. You know, it's hard to get involved in a championship. And Fonseca's not the only guy I've noticed that has made it a little easier for Brown to get around. Same for Langston in the first moto. Watch this again. See if he does wave. Yeah, he does.
It looked like that left hand was out there waving him on.
So that was a smart move psychologically on Brown's part back in Troy by kind of making friends with all that, going, hey, that's just racing. I expect him to get in there and give me a bump once in a while and rest his water under the bridge. And you know what? That really came back to be to his advantage right now.
Mike Brown, after going down here in the second moto, trying to get back into contention and put the heat, at least, on Langston.
You know, we went back and watched Carmichael coming through the pack in the first moto, and you can see the intensity, how fast he was going. That's what Brown looks like right now.
Boy, this track is looking gnarly.
It doesn't look gnarly to Brown. It just looks like he wished this moto was going to be an hour long so he'd have time to catch up.
Brown versus Ramsey. Ramsey, Yamaha of Troy.
Look at that. Out horsepowers the 4-stroke up that hill through the doubles.
Not even a chance to say bar to bar. He just blew right by him.
His lap time's got to be very close to what Carmichael's turning out front. A lot faster than Langston, that's for sure. These guys might get together yet. Coming out of the inside of that corner, he had no run coming out of the corner. It wasn't like it was corner speed that led to that. It was just, he willed his way past. Right back on the power there, already pulling away, setting himself up on the outside for the next corner so he could square that. Brown is on right now. He's got nothing to lose.
Here's Boniface, still holding up well in second place. Carmichael was checked out.
I've been taking my son riding out at Elsinore in California and seeing Boniface out there. The guy's fast. You know, there's a lot of amateurs out there that watch Boniface come by and just think, man, if that guy's that fast and he can't win a national, I'm never going to be any good. But you know what? He doesn't ride that fast at most of the nationals. But here in this moto, he is. He's riding up to his potential.
Steve getting a good break with Mike LaRocco's Amsoil, Dr. Martin's Honda. The next year signed with KTM. KTM certainly has shown that they're a contender. Ricky Carmichael, though, leads this one with Grant Langston hoping to nail down a championship. Steel City, Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, as Grant Langston now trying to make a move for second place on Boniface and just blows right by him. Boniface left the door open.
He wasn't really sure how to counter the aggression and all the pressure he was feeling from Langston. He was looking around in the corner before, but he just guessed wrong. Langston can feel Brown catching up now, so he realizes he needs to get by, get into second, and start chasing Ricky. Keep Brown off his tail.
If he thought there was pressure with Langston, but just wait till Brown gets up there. Oh, Boniface! Looked like he went off the track right there, but Brown has an easy pass of it. That sets up a confrontation between rivals. Langston in second place. Ricky Carmichael's way out in front in first. But Mike Brown is going to do everything he can to get up there and rub a little plastic.
I think that's what you can expect to see. No, Brown.
Brown goes down, but keeps the bike going. Boniface can't pass him. Well, now he has the inside route, but Brown back into third place now.
That's going to give it a little gap to Langston now, but I still believe Brown has the speed to catch Langston. He's caught him from way back in the pack. Langston has that wake-up call, and we've seen before he was able to do it at the last round of Binghamton, able to pick up his pace partway into the moto, respond to the pace of Brown. This is heading into the left-hander at the top of the hill. Watch Brown right here. He just leans into that berm a little too soon. And look at the crowd react. They can sense a real battle here. A great recovery by Brown to get back up so quick and preserve that spot, have a shot at Langston. I would expect he's going to get up there and catch him, and he's got the motivation. We saw how angry he was the first moto. If there's going to be any bumping, it's going to happen now.
Here's Ricky Carmichael, our leader. For 5 consecutive years, Ricky has won at least 7 national events. He's looking for his 8th this season here today. It would give him 22 total wins on the year, counting Supercross. One more than that mighty McGrath did back in 1996. As you pointed out earlier before we went on the air, though, David, he had one more race to do it in, but still a great record. For our Suzuki flashback, Delmont has been a special place for Suzuki in recent years. In 1999, Greg Albertine took his 3rd win of the year at the Pennsylvania track. The victory gave the South African 29 points, edging out Kevin Windham for the AMA Motocross national title. Last year, Suzuki's rookie rider Travis Pastrana took a 4th win in a row. Pastrana's win at Delmont proved an upset as he beat Stefan Moncada for the title by a mere 2 points. Back to our action right now from Delmont. Look at Ricky Carmichael looking around now. He's got a big lead.
He's been looking around a lot, but there's no question he's going to win this moto if he chooses to stay up front. I think he may be looking back, wondering what's going on back there behind him. We heard Kevin Windham talking about he was watching the battle behind him between Perry and LaRocco. Carmichael's doing the same here with Brown and Langston, because it'll affect his outcome, whether he wins this overall or not, gets the record.
Will he get the record? Will Brown get the championship? Or will Langston? We'll be right back. Time running down, and Grant Langston in 2nd place behind Ricky Carmichael has Mike Brown right behind him. Langston with a 6-point lead for the championship. Can he hold him off? Still, Mike Brown would need some help. That's the interesting question.
Yeah, even if Brown is able to get around and Carmichael was to slow down for some reason and put himself between those guys, that would only be 5 points, I'm pretty sure, and still Langston would have the championship by a point. He needs a lot of help.
Still, there's a battle going on, and there is a question whether Mike Brown would leave Grant Langston upright.
Well, Grant's looking around. He's looking at the back wheel, though. Kind of wobbly looking. That looks like maybe...
Whoa, Brown makes a pass, and Grant Langston did not make a mistake there. He just slowed down.
I thought he had mud on one side of the tire. Sometimes it looks funny, but something doesn't look right there. He looked at the rear wheel.
Is it a flat? Mike Brown moves into 2nd place. Oh, my goodness. And he's really picking up big time on Grant Langston. Something's wrong with Langston's bike. Davey, what do you think down there from the mechanics area?
Guys, you're not going to believe this. Just when you thought the game was closer, Grant Langston came through the mechanics area. Flat tire. The tire's still on the rim, but he is losing time quickly. The way it stands right now, he's got to get back to 5th for Brown to win this championship. Jessement's coming. Let's see what Carmichael does now.
That's a good point, and we'll see if we get a good look. We got a good shot of the wheel now, and it doesn't look like the tire's flat. That wheel is destroyed. Oh, you know what? He's not going to be able to finish this moto. That thing's coming apart. You see him trying to just take it easy over those jumps. There goes Jessamine, so that puts him back to 4th.
Oh, this has got to be a heartbreaking situation right now.
This is the championship, Art. That wheel's coming apart, and as those spokes break, eventually he will have a flat tire. I'd be wondering if he jumps this, he's not going to do it. He doesn't go for the double jump. He can feel something wrong. He's known it for half a lap now. I've broken wheels before, and as soon as you start to feel it, you only get a couple of laps. Let's go back again now to Davey Coombs.
Check it out. Mitch Payton and Chad Watts having an impromptu conference. There is 3 laps to go. Langston needs to do worse than 5th. As long as Carmichael wins, we will see what comes out on the boards this time around. Unbelievable turn of events.
Mike Brown in 2nd place, David, not only puts him in line for the championship, but it would take the record away from Ricky Carmichael because he'd get the overall.
Yeah, 1st in the first moto, a 2nd here. 2-1 beats a 3-1. So Carmichael has done all he can do to win the moto, but it's not going to be enough for the overall. Look at Brown right there. Fist pump in the air. He knows he's got this championship starting to sink in now.
It would be his first professional championship ever. Finishing behind Grant Langston, you might remember, in the GP World Championships in the last 2 years. Grant winning that title last year. Mike Brown, with 5 overall victories on the series, came in third.
This makes up for all of that. Wheeling up the hill. He feels so good right now. Earlier in the day, you could see the frustration. He felt like he'd done all he could do, and he had lost it. Last weekend, a real heartbreak, having both motos within his grasp and losing them both, losing 6 valuable points, and he gets it all back right here.
29 years of age and just getting better.
Got a feel for Langston. This is just unbelievable. Who would have thought?
You saw the Kawasaki workers down on the track. This would mean a Kawasaki 250-125 sweep this year. There's Langston's bike. Idle. Let's go back to Davey.
Right there you see Langston's girlfriend Samantha beside him, his manager Bob Moore. This is a picture, guys, that's so familiar. It's what we saw at the Houston Supercross when Grant fell down the last lap. This time the pain, the bad luck is so much worse. This time it cost him a national championship.
I know he's probably not thinking about it right now, but he did everything he could do, David.
He did. You know, you look at the year he had, both he and Brown. I mean, you know, these guys both worked so hard for it. They battled each other. This takes me back to 1982. Rick Johnson had the championship in the bag. Denver, Colorado, he did a huge jump, broke a wheel, lost the title. And he sat there and cried. I mean, it was terrible. But you know what? Grant's 19. 10 years younger than Mike Brown, and he's going to have his chances. And he won't make that mistake again. Neither will KTM.
Here's Ricky Carmichael, our leader. Now Ricky doesn't have to slow down at all.
Question is, what's going to happen behind him?
Carmichael will not take the overall victory unless somebody passes Brown.
Watch this. Clears this whole plateau. Taps the brake just to get that nose down. See Ricky looking over to see what's going on behind him, because now it really does matter whether he's going to get this win or not, which can break that tie with Barnett.
You know, looking back, David, win or lose, Langston has vaulted KTM into championship contention in the American scene. As Ricky Carmichael is taking a look at the white flag. Final lap coming up.
Way he wheelied up that hill. It looked like it was the last lap. He's got such a lead. He can take it easy. He had a good time today, no doubt. People have their opinions on whether he should have done it or not. Who knows what's going to happen. I'm sure there'll be opinions. But Ricky earned it. He could do whatever he wants. Jeremy won the Supercross so many times he decided, I don't want to ride outdoors anymore. So, you know, these guys, once they win enough races, they can pretty much make their choices. Not everybody has to like it.
And there's the sad scene. Sil Nariata and the entire KTM crew, a lot of hard work put in all year long, but they've raised the status of KTM in the American motocross scene. There has been only one other rider to win the 125 U.S. Nationals and not won a race until the 5th round of the season, and that was Jeff Emig, ironically, for Kawasaki that year. If Mike Brown stays in second place, stays upright, finishes this race.
Look at Ricky. Even on his last lap, he gets through that section better than anybody on the day, one hand. He looks happy. He doesn't know if he's going to get the overall. I don't think he thinks he's going to get it. Brown's still in second, but he's happy to win the moto, saluting the crowd. This is his last race for the year until the Motocross the Nation.
Brown's looking back. He's saying go by. Jessamine goes by. Ricky Carmichael might get that record in the last lap now.
He will. He's definitely going to get it. Brown's going to get the title. I can understand how he would. They're friends. They've been training together, riding together. And Brown is so happy he just got this championship. He doesn't care about the overall. He's figuring, why not do his friend a favor? But, you know, Art, 10 years from now, he may regret that.
Ricky Carmichael, number 4, on way to becoming now the all-time 125 as well as the 250 all-time motocross winner.
What a weird day. So many people letting people by. Brown's not the only guy to let somebody by today. It's been going on. We saw Fonseca do it. Other riders have been doing it. Sheik did it. Everybody gets a gift. Wyndham gets a gift in the 250 class. Carmichael gets a gift right there. Brown gets a gift. Langston gets nothing. Hard to believe.
Carmichael on his way to his 42nd career national victory. He passes Jeff Ward for 4th on the AMA all-time win list. Here's the checkers for Ricky Carmichael. His 26th 125 victory, the all-time record. Meanwhile, still out of the track, Mike Brown seeking his 4th win of the season. Kawasaki's 6th 125 U.S. National Motocross title, 4 of those for Pro Circuit. Number 100, Mike Brown, comes through for Mitch Payton and his crew. We've seen some great finishes here at Delmont, Pennsylvania, but this championship run, you didn't know what to expect. It kept everyone guessing until the final laps. We'll hear the words in a moment.